So today we're going to talk about how to create a Windows 11 VM in Microsoft Hyper-V, and that is from learning Microsoft Hyper-V Manager. We have a server we're going to use that already have Hyper-V role installed on it. This is a server 2025, and all you have to do is making sure that you have the ISO file downloaded from Microsoft website. We did download it just recently, and we place it on the local server. We're going to right click on our Hyper-V Manager, new virtual machine. We're going to go to the next step, and then we're going to give it a name. For this particular example, this is the name we're going to give it. Store in this particular location, which is good. We're going to go to next. We're going to select generation 2 because it does give better features and better security as well. We wanted to make sure that we give it a little bit more RAM, so the virtual machine is a little bit faster. Okay, at least 8 GB. We're going to go to next. We're going to connect to the network right here. Make sure that all the settings are correct. I do like to put it in virtual hard disk folder under that virtual machine, and we don't have to give it this much space. We can just start with 80 GB for now. We're going to go to next, and we're going to install an operating system. And we're going to pick our Windows 11 ISO file right here. We're going to go to next. All the settings are correct, and we're going to go click on finish. So before we start a virtual machine and start installing Windows 11, we want to make sure that all the settings were created correctly. Here's a folder that was created, virtual hard disk, the disk was created, and then also the information needed to run it in Hyper-V Manager. Alright, so also we wanted to examine the settings of Windows 11. Under security, make sure that enable trusted platform module is selected as well. So we're going to apply it and make sure that there is more than one virtual processor selected. Sometimes hypervisors do by default put one virtual processor, but we don't have to use 4. We can use just two virtual processors for this VM, and we're going to say apply. So say OK. So now we are ready to start this VM. We just double click on that and then click on start. It will try to boot from that ISO. All we have to do is just click any keys on the keyboard, and then it start loading the ISO from ISO files and start booting up. So the step-by-step, pretty easy. So install Windows 11. I agree to everything. So I don't have a product key for the moment of time. I think it's okay. We don't want to specify. We just wanted to make sure that all the installation is going to go through all the way without any issues. We're going to put Windows 11 Pro because it's going to be deployed for the company environment. We're going to accept the settings, and it's going to examine all the necessary settings in the back end. If it has enough RAM, enough space, 80 GB, which is pretty good. We're going to click everything was good. Now we're going to install it. So we will pause the video a little bit while this installation is happening, and we're going to resume once it comes to the point of rebooting. Alright, now we are at the point where it's restarting. It loaded all it needs to load. It's restarting right now, so it's still getting ready, getting items ready, and it might restart a couple times, but we just have to give it a little bit. Installing 1%. So I'm going to pause the video once again and then restart it when the computer is ready to go. Alright, it's finishing the installation. So it did reboot a few times in the back end. So we just kept our video on pause. Just a moment. It's kind of loading the latest items there. So we're going to pause the video for another moment. Alright, so it's fully loaded from this point. All you have to do is just go through the setup steps. What we recommend to do is actually follow this prompt right here. Hit Shift F10 and then type in this command to bypass using Microsoft account to activate our system. So this is what we're going to do. F10, So we're going to bring up this command prompt, and then we're going to type in OOBE bypass NRO, and then hit enter. The system will restart one more time, and then it should give us an opportunity to actually bypass setting up this particular VM using a Microsoft account, which you don't want to tie it into the Microsoft account. If it is just a local system, we're just going to create a local user on the system, and then it will actually come to the same step of the setup as before. So let me just expand it so we can see a little bit better. So it's still loading, so here it comes. Let's go through the first step. So you'll have your system up and running with a full tutorial on how to set it up. So we're going to say United States. If you're located in another country, please select that one. So we're going to go through the keyboard. It's US keyboard. We're going to skip another layout. So since we connected this particular VM to the network as well, it will try to actually check for updates. And it might take a little bit of time. Since we downloaded the ISO file just recently, so it might be, system might be up to date, but let's go through the full process and see what it's gonna say. Okay, so you can give it a name for this particular example. We're gonna call it just exactly the same name as we gave on the Hyper-V side. So you might want to skip this for now if you don't know the name, so it will automatically assign a random name, which usually desktop, and then it has certain letters and numbers with a dash in front of it. So it does reboot, go through the steps, and I think we should be coming to the steps just in a moment. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so it is trying to finalize the steps. Okay, so what we want to do, set up for work or school, we're going to click on next, and here we should have an option, sign in options right here, and then domain join instead, and then it will allow us to create a local user. So we're gonna, just for this purpose, we're gonna use user as your name, as the name, and then we're gonna give it a pretty simple password for the moment of time. So okay, so we're gonna have to go through the first setup. So I'm gonna pause. You can give you can select any questions you want. I'm going to pause it for the moment, and then we're going to come to the point where the system will be finalizing. All right, we answered all those questions. Please keep the answers to those questions somewhere recorded, right? We usually unselect all these options, to keep the system a little bit with a greater level of privacy. And we're going to go to next. And I think at this moment we're actually ready to go through the final steps right here. It's gonna do the last check for Windows updates. So I'm gonna pause the video for a moment. So it looks like it's still downloading some of the updates. You might see this screen on your side. Sometimes what we recommend, if you want sometimes to bypass actually checking for the updates before you start actually installing Windows 11, you can actually not connect VM to the switch, right? And thus, it might load a little bit faster for you, but still on the back end you will still have to run the Windows updates manually at that point. But we're gonna pause our video for a moment of time, and then we're gonna come back once the updates are finalized. So we're about at 81% of installing the latest updates. Like we said, you are welcome to disable network card before doing installation, so you don't run into this timely issue. So we're going to pause it and then return back once the installation is done. Now after installation is done, the system is restarting. So let's see, it might still take a few minutes to apply those updates that were installed. So we're going to pause the screen and we're going to come back when it's ready. All right, now everything was loaded, so let's try to log in and see if everything looks good. So it's trying to log in that user. It also, upon the first login of that particular user, it will take a little time to kind of load all the settings because the desktop icons are created. All the apps are being created as well for that particular user. So we're going to pause the video right now and then we're going to come back once the desktop is loaded. All right, everything is loaded. So now you're welcome to customize this Windows 11 system. All the latest updates should be loaded as well. So we are successful on setting up these Windows 11 workstations on the hypervisor. So as we can see, the resources are not too highly used. This is just at the beginning. So if we kind of go up with the settings, says memory CPU is only 24%. So if we open actually a task manager right here and then see the resources, we should see under performance, let's see, CPU is a little bit high at the beginning, so we might to add a couple more virtual processors, right? But the memory seems like to be at a good level. To add a more CPU, we might want to double it, like we said. You'll have to power down VM, right? The disk seems like to behave very well. So let's see the space on the disk itself, this PC. So you know, it still has a little bit of space left. Only CPU is a little bit at higher level. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut down this VM. We're going to shut it down. And then we're going to go back to the hypervisor right here. And we're going to, once it's shut down, so let me connect to it once again just to see where we are. Right here, still shutting down. There are a few options you can actually shut down. This is a little bit better way to shut down Windows 11 computer. Sometimes it does pause for setting up and finalizing Windows updates on the back end, but sometimes if you have a hard time shutting the system down, you can turn it off. You know, if this shutdown button doesn't work, this button is gonna give you a chance to save the computer at a current state, right? This one is going to shut down the computer. Sometimes if it does give you a hard time, this button right here, turn off, is as if you went to the computer and push the power button for 10 seconds and it's going to shut itself down. So I'm going to pause it for a moment until these Windows updates are going to be finished, and then we're going to add, we're going to show you how to add more cores on the CPU side. Okay, now the VM is actually shut down. We're going to go to the settings right here, and under processors there were 4, so let's increase it to 4 once again. So we're going to, and then we're going to connect and start virtual machine right here so we can see what's happening. So it should go through the settings, and actually on the media side you can always you know, eject this ISO disk because we're no longer using it. And let's check the settings as well. We can go under settings and then see now the DVD drive is actually had been successfully ejected. So here comes our user. So let's connect. Let's log in and just see the settings once again. So under Task Manager, let's see now the CPU, the performance of CPU. So it's still a little bit at high spike to start with, right? Because everything was loading, but now it should be, the behavior should be a little bit better. And of course, it depends on the type of CPU you're using. If it's on the server environment, then it might, the performance might be a little bit better. But at least now, you know, it's at the startup, it's always a little bit high, like we said, but then it should go down. So that concludes our presentation on how to set up a Windows 11 VM, and you're more than welcome to use this setup.